Sure, we're still sitting here at SEC Media Days in Atlanta, Georgia, but it is another day of the year, which means we are bringing you Card Central 365. We say 365 days a year, even on the days, the boring days when there's no baseball or really anything. Rock and Grant, I guess, will get tomorrow's really boring day and do what they want with it.
Yeah.
Joe Roderick, Brenden Schaeffer here with you from the College Football Hall of Fame. We are mere steps away from like Bo Jackson's Royals jersey, if we want to tie in baseball to this.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. That room in there where we're doing the media dining is like a combo of...
We're doing the media dining.
Isn't that what they call it, media dining? I could have said that more simply, where we eat. But that's the room where they've got a bunch of like crossover baseball content in the College Football Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. And as I'm sitting here over your left shoulder, I can see Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer and all his adoring fans. But we'll stick to baseball, I guess, for the most part here as I look down there to see what that Oklahoma football team is going to look like this year.
Yeah, plenty of SEC coverage coming up later on in the weeks to come here on STL Sports Central. But like I said, this is Card Central 365. We're powered by Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs, and all of our content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Brenden and I are sitting across from the table, even though you're looking at us on different cameras. We are sitting here just mere feet from each other. Brenden last night was at the All-Star game. What number All-Star game was that last night? What
95.
No, it wasn't.
95?
Was it?
Is it?
I feel like it's more than that.
I don't know how many All-Star games have there been. I'm pretty sure they said the 95th All-Star
Okay,
game.
I feel like it was.
Bang!
Oh, nice. Okay.
As of July 16th, there have been 95.
Okay,
today,
nice.
So, yeah.
But you were there last night, and of the 95, that was the first one ever to end in a swing-off.
Pretty funny stuff. I mean,
Brendan Donovan was sitting there, and he had an opportunity to hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. I don't know when the last time a walk-off home run was hit in an All-Star game.
Has it ever happened?
I got to imagine it's happened.
Maybe. I don't know. There's only been 95.
Like some Hall of Famer probably did it like a year after fighting in the war or something like that, and then came back and hit a walk-off homer. Brendan Donovan was up there last night, unable to do so, but still had two hits for Donnie.
Yeah, he had a really good day, and you knew he
would.
A
Nice piece of hitting is what Dave Roberts called one of his, as Dave Roberts was mic'd up.
Did you see the tweet? There was a tweet from somebody that said, it was something to the effect of Brendan Donovan in a nice piece of hitting derby.
Yeah,
it was like highlights of Barry Bonds was the video, like they're making reference to like that is Brendan Donovan's thing. You knew that Brendan Donovan would take good ABs, that he'd put the ball in play, that he would have a good night, that he would show effort defensively. There was a hit to right field where he was the second baseman and dove, came up just short of making the play, but got his uniform dirty during the All-Star game. Like all of those things are hallmark Brendan Donovan things. And so it was cool to see him get an opportunity on the big stage. I don't guess anybody ended up other than Donovan with a multi-hit game, unless I'm forgetting somebody toward the tail end, because he was the first one to accomplish it in the game. I don't know if you count Kyle Schwarber. He went 0 for in the game, but he also hit 3 home runs. So I don't really know how you figure that one out. But that was it was something last night.
So by the way, Brendan, I went and looked it up. There have been 3 walk-off home runs in the World Series.
In the World Series.
Or in the All-Star game, in the All-Star game.
That just seems like a lot.
I'm looking this up now. Like because I'm confirming all of these. And so as I sat here and I said, so this is quickly, and as I Googled this on walk-off home runs, it said there have been walk-off home runs in the MLB All-Star game, 3 walk-off home runs in the history of the Midsummer Classic. Ted Williams in 1941. So
you were
I was pretty
right. You're in the right range.
Yeah,
the right decade.
We're terrible for this. Do you know who would have known this? Is Stats Norsworthy, who's a few tables down. I guarantee you that, because he's the best fan of all the best fans.
I did meet the best fan in baseball today.
Yeah.
The biggest Cardinal fan and the best one as well.
Brett Stats Norsworthy down in Memphis. Doing radio down there. And then Stan Musial, it says here, hit one in the 1955 All-Star game. So we suck for not knowing that.
Yeah, probably should have had that one down, but that's okay. Now I won't forget it. If
Yeah.
anybody ever asks me again, I'll know.
But this is why I need to confirm all this, because it also says the most recent was Pete Alonso in 2019. I was at the 2019 All-Star game. It was not one on a walk-off home run. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Has the NL, they won last night, obviously, sort of. When's the last time they won before that? Because it seems like every year you get your hopes up, and then, if you care about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the AL just, it's like they take the football away like Charlie Brown. And last night I was like, I even tweeted him after the Corbin Carroll home run. I said, hey, the NL might win an All-Star game. And then they obviously tied it up and almost lost.
Brenden, there's cousin Shane behind you right
me?
now. Yeah, you said you were going to talk to him. Yeah, there you go,
I'm
right
going
there.
To make an effort to. We're talking baseball right now. I know that's not your game, so I'll have to, find you a little bit later on.
You going to the MLS game tonight?
I don't know. They've gone back and forth. They talked about doing possibly a karaoke thing too. So.
Oh my gosh, we're skipping the soccer game. If that's going on.
Yeah, we got two extra tickets to the soccer game tonight that we were.
I thought about it, but I don't even know how to play the sport.
Yeah, I barely know how to watch it, but we're gonna make an effort.
We'll come over there and talk to you about that karaoke thing when we're done. When we're done doing the show here today.
I had myself pulled up on YouTube, but then it was gone, and so when you said that, I'm like, I'm not seeing anywhere, and I kind of look. I'm like, okay, in the reflection, I see a guy behind me. That must be cousin Shane. For the college football fans, you know who he is. But
so here we go. 1955 Midsummer Classic.
Yep.
Stan Musial hit a walk-off home run. So wait, last night, Brenden, I'm going to do a little backstory here. Last night, we didn't get the big stars in the swing off. And
wait a minute. You're telling me you didn't want to see Kyle Stowers out there? That was my favorite. That seriously is, I'll never forget. As I'm thinking about it, I'm like, the National League coaching staff. And I know since then they've said, no, this was predetermined who are the guys going to be the day before. I'm just saying what's out there. Like, that's what they said. I guess probably to try to take some of the heat off of the stars that were obviously not in the same time zone anymore. Like, those guys get out of the game, and a lot of them, they leave. Not Pete Alonso, because Pete Alonso longs for the day that he can play in a home run derby to win a baseball game. And, of course, he didn't get to swing because of how good Schwarber was. But, no, I was just sitting there thinking, imagine the National League coaching staff like scrambling around that dugout going, hey, has anyone seen that blonde kid from the Marlins? Like, we got to find this guy. He's the only one that's going to do this derby. It just cracks me up. The whole thing was hysterical.
So anyway, like Bob Nightingale tweeted out after the game, like, hey, Shohei was long gone.
And Bob's tweet was so funny because it was like very Bob Nightingale, but just here's the question that everybody wants to know about. And I'm going to give you the answer to it in just the most, just plain terms. Hey, Shohei was long gone and not under consideration for the Derby. That was the tweet from Bob Nightingale. The phrasing was perfect.
All right, so we set the stage there that Shohei left early. 1955, Stan Musial's walk-off home run was in the 12th inning. Stan Musial started the game and played all 12 innings in the 1955 All-Star game to be in there to hit a walk-off home run.
Times have changed a little bit in 70 years ago. It's a little different nowadays. It's pretty good, though. I should have known that, though. I should have known about. I'm sure at some point I had heard about Stan Musial walk off in the All-Star game, but
But I could just imagine, like, late in the game, like we're in the 12th inning, like, who wants in? Nope, no, Stan's not giving up these at bats.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, 12 innings too. How many innings? I'd love to see how many innings each pitcher went in that game.
Oh my gosh, the arms. Well, it doesn't matter. They probably, whoever started it probably finished the game.
Yeah,
through
all 12 innings
back then, and now it's like, hey, we can't have a 10th inning. We have to hit home runs to go home.
Exactly.
It's fine. You know what? And I know they talked about it. I talked about it with the guys this morning on the Randy Carricker show. Like, would you want to see the swing off in regular season games instead of like having the ghost man, the Manfred man on second base to start extra innings? Do away with extra innings and let's sock some dingers. I'm good with that idea. I don't need it. I'm okay with the man for man. I've gotten used to it for the regular season. But Joe, I'll ask you: Is there validity to that? Would you rather see games in the regular season? Not talking about the playoffs. Would you rather see those games end with the format that we saw last night?
I do. I think. I wonder. Sure, yes, but I do wonder, like with the new, CBA and everything coming up, like what's the argument against? Like, how do we get? Because okay, instead of the arms pitching, you're going to have a guy go out there and he's just swinging for the fences.
Sure, you're going to end up guys harming their swing on a regular basis because.
Is that why you keep a guy like Nolan Gorman on your roster?
You're looking for a reason, aren't you? No, we can make jokes. Gorman's actually been pretty good recently, and he's
right. But I'm saying, like,
that
is not a guy that you worry about, like, oh, it's going to mess up his swing. No, that's his swing. Like,
yeah, I would say you would almost have roster spots be thinking about something like that. Maybe not multiple, but do the DH types that when you watch them in batting practice are hitting long home runs? Does a Lucan Baker suddenly have more of a role in Major League Baseball, even though he doesn't really have a position outside of first base? Like, yeah, I think that would probably come into play a little bit. You asked, though, what's the argument against it? It's not baseball. There's the baseball is the pitcher's best against the hitter's best, and the defense can be there to clean up the mess or try to make it work out for their side if the pitcher doesn't get you out. That's not. The home run derby thing is cool for the All-Star game. I also think that, like, it's the first time it's ever happened. Can we calm down a little bit on going, here's what we need to do. We're going to change everything because of
But it was fun. It was
fun, but it was a novelty. We've never seen it. And so I think if you get rid of the novelty of it, it goes the way of shootouts in hockey, but even a little bit dumber.
Could you imagine, like, was it long? Like, was it short enough?
The length of time?
The time that it took to do that.
I think that part was fine because you would.
Okay, because that's what I'm thinking.
In-game interviews during the regular season. Every batter.
No, I'm talking about the swing off. I'm talking about from the swing. Yeah.
No, I'm saying it would have taken even less amount of time if Kevin Burkhardt wasn't asking play, every time.
And I wonder, like, if that was on the spot or like if they did have a plan, like in their binder, like, hey, if we go to the swing off,
we get to talk to him.
Like, hey, we're talking to these guys beforehand, or if it was. Okay, we're just gonna hit. Hey, you know what? Go talk to him. Hey, we're gonna give you a mic. Go.
I liked that though. I liked that they did that.
Yeah,
but again, it's
not gonna happen. The cat is not gonna be.
Could you imagine?
Claims down on the field talking to guy.
Let me ask you, what are you looking for here? Well, probably a good batting practice strike that I can hit over the fence. That's a funny idea, though. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm going to pitch that to him next time I talk to him.
That's my thing, though. My takeaway is
you pitch it to the cat. I'll pitch it to Claves, and we'll compare notes on their reactions to it.
My takeaway, though, is the novelty of it has us, and it was really fun. That has us geared up to be like, how can we do this more? I think you do it more, then it's like, oh, the novelty of it is gone, and it's not baseball, so. No, I don't need that idea.
You know what though? Like, I'm just okay. This is all. These ideas are just flooding into my head right now.
That's a scary thought.
You know how, like, for closers,
yeah.
Ryan Helsley comes out. They turn all the lights red.
Yep.
They play Hell's Bells. He has this big intro.
Yep.
Imagine Helsley goes in there, bottom of the ninth, tied at 4. He goes 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden, the music hits. And your designated home run hitter in the swing off, Lucan Baker, is just walking up there. Or Nolan Gorman's just going up. It's like his night to shine, and he has entrance music.
Who would your 3 guys
walk
be
up
on the
music?
Current Cardinals if you had to?
That's what I mean. Do you keep it at 3, or do you just hit like one guy?
You maybe would change it to 1. We're not doing this, by the way, but if you did.
I want to do it. No, I'm all in on it. I want to do it now.
Give me your top 3 current Cardinals, though. Let us know in the chat as well. Who would be your lineup if you had to do that for a Cardinal game? Cardinals, Cubs.
I mean, Gorman number 1. I mean, immediately Gorman, always Gorman, right?
I think so. I mean,
wait, Gorman over Herrera. Like, that's right now on this current roster. I still say Gorman. Like Gorman grew up doing home run derby. Like, at every level that he's been at, Gorman has been that home run derby guy. Like that
trying to
swing's
think-
always been there.
I'm trying to think back to like spring trainings of like who are the guys when you're watching BP and it's just mindless down there, but who are the guys that are just absolutely launching it sometimes? Yeah, I mean, Luka Baker's not on the roster, but he would be one of the answers to that question.
Yeah.
So, but I think Herrera would be in there though.
Mhm.
Herrera, Gorman, who's your third?
It's
probably Siani for you though.
no. Siani again. Like if it was a glove off, then if you're just hitting balls into the gap and you're saying go get it, then it's Siani and Victor Scott. Like those are my two guys.
That's
going.
What they should do instead of a home run derby here. Here's how we're going to end games so that we can let the defense. You alternate. First time you have an extra inning game, you're going to do home run derby.
We're going to do it. We're making skills competitions instead of extra innings.
2 weeks later, you've got another extra inning game, and this time it's defense. So we're going to put a cannon on home plate, and each team gets two outfielders. The Cardinals are sending Siani and Victor Scott. They're gonna go into left center and right center, and it's 10 fly balls. You got to catch them, as many of them as you can, but you only get two outfielders. And then the team with the most catches wins the game.
It's a full-on just a skills competition.
I mean, you think about it, do I think any of this should be incorporated into real games? No. Is there maybe something that can be added to All-Star Week? Because all the other sports have the dunk contest and the three-point contest, and for football, you've got the whole thing is a skills competition at this point. Hockey has done a nice job with like some interesting little. Baseball's got the home run derby, and maybe because it's baseball, it's America's pastime, and that's the classic. You don't need anything more than that. But it would be kind of cool you'd have to think of something that you could incorporate that there's not a high enough of an injury risk to the participants that they'll say, "Nah, I'm not doing that." I kind of feel like. Watching guys track down some fly balls in the gap or something could be kind of fun. I don't know. Is it crazy?
You put you hit the balls that only PCA could get to, and then you see if any other outfielder is any mere mortals in the game of baseball are able to.
Like a tinge of, I don't know what that was, bitterness a little bit. Are you a PCA guy or?
No, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by him now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's a Cub.
Okay, that's 100% valid and reasonable. But I actually think he's like
current most like I think for a while
because he's gonna
for a while. I mean, Cardinal fans hated my guy Brandon Phillips, that dude BP, my boy.
That's your boy.
He is, and
always has been. Really,
it really has been. Yeah,
since day one.
But I think you always try to find that guy that you hate. And I think now, PCA is the most annoying player in baseball in my eyes.
But I think, is that because he's just so damn good at so many different things? Or does he do – because, like, everything I've heard and saw from him this week, his personality, I've seen a lot of people go, oh, man, like, I can't dislike this guy because he's, like, kind of just a likable guy, goes about it, If he was a Cardinal, he would be everybody's favorite player. So is it just the fact that he's a Cub – or is there actually something about this kid where you're like, I don't like this guy?
I don't like I think mostly, the dislike is the way the national announcers seem to love him.
This actually makes a lot of sense to me, coming from you specifically, because that's why you hate Lars Nootbaar too. It's because of your perception that everybody else is treating him in a way and putting him on a pedestal, and so you don't like the glamorization of Lars Nootbaar, and it's clouded your judgment from being able to look at his stats. That's what it is.
The earring too bothers me.
Where's an earring?
No, PCA.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's front and center. That his earring is, you can't miss it.
One or two. Is that can you do that? I guess they can do that.
Google it. Yeah, you can wear it. Yeah.
I don't know. Who cares?
So
what does it make a difference?
When I type it in, it says earrings. Does he have multi earrings?
I just don't think it makes any difference to me. He hits the ball, he runs the ball, he catches the ball. He just has to remember to throw the ball back into the infield, and he's aces in my book if he does that.
Well, I've only seen one earring in his team picture.
I'm just not really too much worried about the earring.
But I do think Cardinal fans think that what PCA is for the Cubs, I think Cardinal fans do think that's what Lars Nootbaar is for the Cardinals.
I think Cardinals fans hoped that Lars Nootbaar would be that because PCA
and he's
is
not.
that five-tool player. That he's doing it all. Now, it's a small sample size, but I kind of think he's going to keep it going. Maybe not to the extent that he's done it this year. But I don't think that's a necessarily fair way to frame Lars Nootbaar. And you're not alone in phrasing it this way. And, of course, we're making reference to this because Joe had the infamous take at this point about, Siani would bring more value to the Cardinals than Lars Nootbaar, and everybody had fun with that. And I hate bringing that up because I don't want to dog on Siani. I would still say out of the All-Star break, Siani should be back on the roster. Like, I've been clear about that. He'd be a good defender to have off your bench. But the Nootbaar thing is like other Cardinals fans have expressed the way that you feel about that, Joe, is like, well, I thought he was going to be the superstar, and he hasn't been. So this, standard that I was going to hold him to, he hasn't reached it, and now I don't like him, or now I consider him to be overrated, or whatever the case might be. But then, like, when you look at the numbers, I know he's down this year, but even still, right now today, he's got a league average OPS plus. He's been like 10 to 12% above average his whole career. So that's my rant. It won't be the last time I rant to you about Lars Nootbaar's value, but since I don't think we've really been on a show since it happened,
I'm sure we have.
Well, it hasn't come up in a way that I felt I could deliver my rant. So there it is.
I will stick with that. It's just, I mean, my thoughts on PCA now with that. Not a fan of his, but I do think that Cardinal fans that will defend Lars Nootbaar, I think they look at him and they go, "Oh yeah, he's the same player as PCA," when he's clearly not. It's the Cardinal colored glasses.
No. The Cardinals fan, that's your problem, is that you think that that's what people are saying. What people are saying is he's like a solid above average player that can contribute, but he's not necessarily the best player on your team. And if you're like a World Series contender, I don't know that he can be the best player on your team and have that work out. But there's room for that. That would be my stance. I can't speak for all of Cardinals fans. Guys can let us know in the chat. That's where I think the disconnect on Nootbaar comes from, is the belief that, well, if he's not this PCA level player for the Cardinals, then, to hell with him. I don't think that makes any sense. There's room for, like, if you had 9 Lars Nootbaars, or if you gave me like 5 Brendan Donovans and 4 Lars Nootbaars, maybe just 3 Lars Nootbaars. I don't know what infield position Noot would play.
He's left-handed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let me. He throws left-handed.
Does he? No, he throws right-handed. No, he throws right-handed. Okay, never. I'm right. Right. Yeah.
Vic throws left-handed. No, Vic throws right-handed. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I would win a lot of baseball games, is my point. And it's okay to have a bunch of guys that are slightly above average. The problem is the Cardinals don't have that superstar that has emerged, that is a tentpole type of player. And I think that's where, more of the onus for the organization to find that player somehow falls to Lars Nootbaar, because of the fact that, I don't know, he was marketed very well and he was in the World Baseball Classic, and so people want to see him. That's why I think that ends up happening. But Brendan Donovan was your all-star, and even Brendan Donovan is probably not that player that, like, when you think about, like, he's an all-star caliber player, and I think he can go to many all-star games, but Donovan's not necessarily going to be that guy to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100 RBI and, OPS 950. That's where I think Cardinals fans are like, well, I thought Nootbaar was going to be that. And so it's really the Cardinals fans that don't like Nootbaar that hold him to that standard. The ones that like him, I think, see the numbers and say, pretty good player, not a superstar, and that's okay.
This is Card Central 365, powered by Graybar. If you're still suffering from supply chain issues and they're disrupting your operations, have no fear, because Graybar has you covered. Trusted and leading North American distributor of electrical, communications, data networking, and industrial products. Visit graybar.com to start an order today. That's graybar.com, and fix those supply chain issues with Graybar, your distributor for electrical and data needs. Joe Roderick, Brenden Schaeffer here with you from SEC Media Days. We're at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. Lots of stuff going on in Atlanta all week long. You had the baseball all-star game, Beyonce, the SEC Media Days.
Here. I mean, there's everything going on.
Brendan and I are going to a soccer game tonight.
Apparently so.
Yeah, and we're going to call Rock tomorrow and give him our full recap of that. I don't think our recap will be as long as what he and Will do here on STL Sports Central.
No.
Content delivered by DraftKings. The crown is yours. But yeah, I think we'll do our best. Maybe we're gonna go karaokeing with cousin Shane.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that was an invite, but we can maybe work our way.
I mean, he told us about it. I feel like that was an invite.
We'll see. We'll have to circle back.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're doing that.
Comments on the screen.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I'm not logged in. Cole Bass's left foot says Nootbaar's got cult hero energy.
Yeah, I just had that up on the screen.
You don't just trade a guy whose name sounds like a snack and plays like a spark plug.
Yeah,
I like that. I also think, though, like when you think cult hero, it's more like Bo Hart. Bo Hart, So Taguchi.
Yeah.
Those guys were nice to have around, but Lars Nootbaar is not of that same ilk. He's an everyday player who is do you want to look up the numbers? I'll do it. I don't want to besmirch Cardinals of the past with you, but I feel like you put me into this position where I have to do so because you're comparing apples and oranges and saying, look at this basket of apples that I have. So Taguchi, career OPS plus 86. So 14% below league average. Who else did I say? Bo Hart. Bo Hart's whole career wasn't as long as Lars Nootbaar has already played for the Cardinals, right? Bo Hart was around for a couple years. OPS plus 84. Do you know Nootbaar's OPS plus off the top of your head?
It's over. You said it many times. It's over 100, right?
Yeah, I've heard it. It's 111.
Okay.
Over a sample size of almost 1,800 plate appearances. That's a solid player. He doesn't have to be an all-star to be a worthy player to have on your roster. Now, you brought this up because you were enjoying that the day after the Siani Nootbaar thing happened. Bernie was it a column or a video that he did talking about trading potentially Lars Nootbaar?
I think a video.
It was a video. And you retweeted that and said, glad to have the support, Bernie, or whatever you said. That's interesting because I actually don't fundamentally disagree with the idea that maybe this month is a reasonable time to explore that, but it can't be, the GMs and MLB that think like Joe Roderick thinks. It's like, that guy's overrated. You've got to trade Lars Nootbaar if you're going to do it to a team that, sees his potential to be even more than what he's been, which is a really good, reliable player. Now, the injuries is part of a question mark there as well, where teams would have to decide, what they're willing to give up for a guy that has a checkered injury past. But I think that's what's interesting is I can't say definitively that they shouldn't trade Lars Nootbaar because it's going to depend on what other teams are willing to give you. And if you're not going to re-sign him, it's getting into kind of crunch time here soon with both Lars Nootbaar and your all-star Brendan Donovan. Those guys have 2 more years of ARB, and after that, they're eligible for free agency. One of the biggest storylines of the offseason, in my opinion, is going to be how Chaim Bloom approaches those 2 players that we think of as, mainstay guys, but contractually it's going to get to a point where you kind of have to decide you're going to move forward with them, or you probably explore the trade options.
We're going to get into the All-Star game from last night, but before we get to that, remind you that all content here on STL Sports Central is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours, and if you go on the DraftKings Pick 6 app.
I bet if you did, you would be talking Atlanta United.
I'm going to say, outside of Atlanta United, there are some today. There are some WNBA games today.
There you go.
So you can get in on that. You can also on the Pick 6 app, NBA Summer League games. You can bet on. You can go on that higher or lower.
Big golf tournament coming up this weekend too, right? Isn't it a major?
This weekend it is the Open Championship.
So,
yeah, so you can
can
get out there ahead of that. That'll start actually overnight, 1:30 a.m. is when those guys are teeing off tomorrow. So you get on there if you haven't done so yet and use promo code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports. And you will get $50 in Pick 6 credits when you play $5. Better payouts, bigger wins only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
So, Brenden, last night you went to your first All-Star game. We've kind of talked about the swing off. We got into a Lars Nootbaar discussion. I want to hear just kind of your overall experience of being at the game last night.
It was good, man. It was really cool to be on the field and see like the hubbub that goes on during batting practice. They did have to put the tarp on the field for a little while, so the National League didn't really get to have batting practice. I think only just maybe a couple guys before it started raining and they had to tear everything down. Put it back up when the rain cleared. The American League guys got to all do BP, and I was kind of down there wandering the field for the duration of it, and it was just crazy to see the media contingency as well. Like everybody waiting for Shohei Ohtani to come out of the dugout just to be able to, take the picture, get that little bit of video, B-roll for.
I would have been there. That's where I would have been standing.
That's where everybody was standing. And it was kind of 100 degrees and humid on the field, but it was really kind of surreal to see just all that taking place. And, the action of it all is what I took away most from the All-Star game, is how big of an event it honestly was, which like I always enjoy watching the All-Star game at home, but I was more enamored by like the event aspect of it this time.
When you just see people, I mean, they are like Shohei, Aaron Judge, pick a guy, Patrick Mahomes, like when you are around those, like they are larger than life athletes. And when it's one of the, it's a perk of the job. It's one of those where you get to experience just being in their presence.
Standing behind the cage, watching like right there against the cage. They let us get closer than you'd ever get at Busch Stadium because Busch Stadium, you stay a little bit back and everything. When there's an all-star event, there's so many people. It's like they're not really going to be able to tell you where you can and can't go. So you're kind of really close to the cage and taking, videos or pictures or whatever that you can post out to whatever for content. But it was just really cool. Like Aaron Judge is doing batting practice right there, and Joe Torre is in full uniform watching him. Like just crazy stuff like that you don't.
That's the thing too. Like when you do see those guys, like when you see some of the other legends that'll be back there, you'll be walking around and you'll see like a CC Sabathia just in street clothes, just standing, and you're looking.
Judge, we're cutting it up.
Yeah, and you're just like, wait, that's CC. Like, and you kind of look at that, and you're like, okay, yeah.
And like you'll see people from a distance almost too, where you couldn't possibly get through the sea of folks to get to them. And so like I was trying to, I made a video where I was just like wading through all the people. And as I'm doing it, I was like, oh, that's Dexter Fowler right there. Like, it's just like over and over that happens over and over again. Oh, that's Rajay Davis. Like you just keep going. You're like, everybody's here.
Was Carlos Baerga out there?
Did not.
He's like a big media guy now.
Is he?
You didn't know that?
I think I did know that.
He's like breaking stories and stuff. Yes. Yeah, he is. He's a huge media member, man. Like he's all about it now.
Okay.
Breaking all the stories of all of the Latino players. I mean, he's like him and Hector Gomez are like the go-to guys when it comes to any of the Latin players.
There you go. No, there's so many people down there. It's kind of hard to. It was a whirlwind for sure, but it was cool to be part of that event, to see that event, to take a couple laps around the stadium and take it all in. There was a lot to like about this week, and like the Derby Day was really cool as well. They did a really good job with it here in Atlanta. I mean, I didn't obviously go to the draft because I drove in on Monday morning, but just seeing 2 days of what really is an all-star week was a lot of fun. And it kind of makes you pine going, man, yeah, the Cardinals probably aren't getting another all-star game for a while, because it's kind of based on when did you have your last all-star game. And what was that, 2009, I want to say, was when the Cardinals hosted.
I thought it was it 9?
I believe so.
Okay.
And so, it's still moderately recent, but also not really that recent. I mean, that's 16 years. So I think they mentioned Toronto has been like 91 or so. They're trying to get it back, but maybe within the next decade or so, Busch Stadium and St. Louis gets another one now. That
Philadelphia gets next year.
Yeah.
I think everybody assumes that the Cubs get it in 27.
Okay. That'll be something.
That was kind of like their big thing of, okay, hey, you need to do a lot of stuff around Wrigley.
And we'll hook you up.
Then we'll give you an all-star game.
Yeah.
So I think they have. I think that's where I thought they were getting this one. I really thought they were going to get this one, but I think they ended up giving it back to Atlanta after taking it away from them in 21.
Yeah, and that was kind of discussed too. Like there was a lot of outside reasons that happened, political, legislative reasons. And, Manfred was asked about that during the session with writers yesterday or Monday, whatever day that was. And it was like, what changed to bring it back? Because none of that stuff is really different. But he was like, look around. I mean, it's just the facilities are so unbelievable that the fan base support, Braves fans, there were a ton of Braves fans around, as you would expect. And so it's just a really, for whatever those other thoughts and feelings are, it was a really great event, and they did knock it out of the park in almost every regard. You've always got little things, like you've been to enough events, Joe, where you're like, oh, they could do this different or that different. But it was, overall, I was pretty impressed.
And then I was going to say after that, too, then you have to look at kind of the new stadiums that are coming. And as of right now, I mean, there aren't any. Like, that's kind of the thing right now. Like, shockingly enough, I mean, it is 2020 was when Globe Life opened. They had the 24 All-Star game. Truist was built is the most recent before that.
Right.
And they're not going to hold an All-Star game in Sacramento.
No, they're barely going to keep playing in Sacramento.
Right. I don't think George Steinbrenner Field's getting in an All-Star game soon.
Nope.
But I guess a few shovels are in the ground in Vegas.
I mean, that'll
in
be
28. Like that'll be
when
like 2030. Yeah.
When it's done 2 years later or 1 year later, it's going to get the All-Star game. But that's a long way off at this point. So
yeah, I mean, you really are looking at, I guess, Philadelphia in 26. Which they're getting it for the centennial or the 250 year. And then I think Wrigley in 27. And then I would say Toronto probably in 28.
And then you'll be coming up close to the 100th All-Star game a couple of years after that. They'll probably want to go somewhere pretty.
Where do you go? Where do you take the 100th?
It might be like, I think Boston kind of wants one too.
Yeah.
So maybe you go to another old ballpark like Fenway. I don't know.
Boston had theirs in 99.
I wouldn't know the answer to that, but we're still a handful of years away from it. So it could be, I hope it is something more historic like that rather than just, going to a new ballpark or whatever.
Yeah. You can't give the 100th to Vegas, right?
No, but hopefully their stadium is done. If that's
said 28 is when that one's supposed to be done.
So maybe 29, maybe they get the 99th. Is my math right on that?
I think so. Maybe
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm scrolling through and seeing, when they last hosted, when each of them last hosted some of these games for that.
While you do that, I'll read Cole Bassett's left foot. One Braves fan said, "This swing off was electric, but I still wouldn't trade Acuna for Schwarber, even if he came with free Waffle House."
I had Waffle House for lunch.
You did?
Yeah.
You had a burger, though?
I had a patty melt.
I didn't even know they did that.
Patty melt with hash browns. Covered in Waffle House sauce.
Our South Carolina, our resident Southerner says that wasn't a good choice.
I almost went B&G's. I almost went B&G's at lunch.
She would have approved that.
Yeah.
Hannah would have been all about that.
We don't have the Waffle House by us. I wanted to go try it out. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to guess the Waffle House that's, a couple hundred steps away from right here in downtown Atlanta is a lot better. The food tastes a lot better than the Waffle House in Collinsville, Illinois.
It's more legitimate.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's Waffle Houses everywhere. I never really thought about it.
There aren't Waffle Houses everywhere.
Sure. But there's one in O'Fallon, and so it's like right down the street from me.
Is that Columbia's Waffle House then?
No, it's actually O'Fallon's, and Columbia may or may not have their own, but it's like 90 miles away.
It's like a 15-minute drive.
We should ask Stats because he talked Ole Miss with us and doing radio in Memphis. That's like the equivalent of O'Fallon to Columbia. But you wouldn't say he lives in Oxford. No, you give him his credit that he's in Memphis. That's where he is. Even if his kind of proximity takes him 90 minutes to drive there, doesn't mean he's in a place.
Memphis, they have a college in Memphis, though. They have another big university in Memphis. They're not going to be able to play in postseason basketball for the next 2 years, but they have a university there.
I don't have any other words for you. He tells me, "Oh, you're out in Wentzville, you're out in O'Fallon. Oh, it's basically Columbia." No, it's a St. Louis suburb. And then if you get past Wentzville, you're on your own.
You excited to go watch some soccer tonight?
I actually am.
Do we need to call Rock before we go out there to ask him
what we need to know?
Yeah, like,
Yes.
hey, when do we cheer? Are we allowed to stand? How does this work?
Is there Rams rules for soccer?
I was just gonna say we need the Rams rules for MLS.
I need to know the Rams rules. No, but I've never been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so I'm excited about that. Even if it is for a soccer game.
I have never been in there either. So yes, this will be a first for me.
I was at 2 games in the Georgia Dome. You know, those were the back-to-back SEC championship years for Mizzou.
I didn't realize just maybe how new Mercedes-Benz was.
It was right after that. Like they were, I want to say they were even building it at the time.
Yeah,
but they weren't in it yet.
I was here when the Super Bowl was here in 19. I was down here for that, but they didn't have any events besides the game actually in Mercedes-Benz, so I didn't have anything to go in there for.
Opened in 2017.
Okay,
so there you go.
So Mizzou's never lost a football game in Mercedes-Benz?
I don't think so. No.
Kylie, has Mizzou ever lost a football game in Mercedes-Benz?
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They haven't played there, have they?
No.
We're always in the Cotton Bowl. So
okay.
It's not.
All right.
It's like every time we get a good game, it's the Cotton Bowl. So.
All right. Full review of that. Maybe we do an instant reaction.
When you're in this environment, you can't just expect me to only say things about baseball. So.
Right. No, awesome place, and we will have a lot of SEC coverage over the next few weeks from everything that Kylie and Hannah and Brendan are gathering here as we make our way through SEC Media Day week and still bring you Cardinal coverage 365 days a year like we do here on this show, powered each and every day by Gray Bar. This is STL Sports Central, all content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.